real difference between house and a home is the people who live in it. Imagining life without this home is very, very difficult. Captain Alok Bansal. I retired from the Indian Navy after serving 32 years, and my wife.
I'm Nima Bansal.
Especially in the case of Navy, since it's located in big cities and is concentrated, the number of officers and men at one station are huge, and the accommodation for them is not invariably available there. When you don't have house, you have to manage, and that's what we used to do.
कोई 2 महीने की छुट्टी जा रहा है तो सब लोग देखते रहते थे कि कौन जा रहा है छुट्टी, तो चलो उसके घर में जाके हम लोग शिफ्ट कर सकते हैं.
Fortunately, defense accommodations generally have bare minimum furniture, so you have beds, you have some place to sleep, dining table, etc. Those bare minimum essential furniture was there. Another peculiarity is, I think, these crystal ware, which we generally get from different areas. Most defense homes you will find with these crystal ware. I think crystals and defense forces go hand in hand. We moved to Bombay, and Bombay was the big bad city. It was a huge city. The naval area in Bombay is close to the sea, and there are huge winds. In fact, if you had hanging your clothes, you had to actually put them with a tight thing. Otherwise, the cloths would fly off almost 500 meters, 1 kilometer, and would often get lost. I think this was a very comfortable time. One could go directly to ships, and evenings we had a lot of time because ships generally wound up early by 3:30. So by 4-5 you were there. So invariably on every evening we had time to go. We had good social lives. And the problems were only when you were sailing. Like you to sail for 7 days, 10 days, 15 days, and she would stay alone. So those were tough days. I don't know how she would manage. It used to be tough.
नहीं, पर ये था कि हम लोग जहाँ नोफरा में रहते थे वहाँ एक MI रूम हुआ करता था. अगर बच्चे को कोई तबीयत खराब है या आपकी कोई तबीयत खराब है तो आप चले जाओ. तो दैट वे नेवी ने काफ़ी चीज़ें इस तरह से की हुई थी कि जिससे कि अकेली कोई लेडी अगर रह रही है तो उसे इतनी परेशानी नहीं हो. जैसे वहाँ पर कैंटीन रहती थी, अंदर आपका राशन रहता था. हम लोग लकी थे कि जिस बिल्डिंग में हम रहते थे उसी बिल्डिंग में नीचे राशन का काउंटर था. हम लोग अंदर रह के कंफर्टेबली चीज़ें मैनेज कर लेते थे, और फ्रेंड सर्कल भी काफ़ी हो जाता था क्योंकि बहुत सारे शिप सेलिंग पे गए होते थे तो काफ़ी सारी लेडीज़ अकेली होती थी. तो हम लोग नीचे पार्क में बच्चे हमारे लोग खेल रहे होते थे और हम लेडीज़ आपस में अच्छे फ्रेंड्स बन जाते थे. फिर हस्बैंड लोग सेलिंग पे गए तो हम लोग भी उनके घर रात में चले गए. उसने हमारे यहाँ खाना डिनर कर लिया, हमने उनके यहाँ डिनर कर लिया. तो दैट वे मतलब इतने सारे फ्रेंड्स मुझे नहीं लगता कि आप डिफेंस के अलावा कहीं और बना सकते हो.
These owls are to remind us of Wellington, where we were for a number of years. This is the logo of Defence Services Staff College, Wellington. So when I went to Cochin as commanding officer of INS Mean, which was a small warship, I got an out-of-term accommodation of a lieutenant, which was a bungalow in Cochin, Katari Bagh, which was a big thing in those days. So we moved into a house, and I was a CO of a ship, so we had certain attendant benefits. That ship also had a vehicle. So
telephone भी घर में था.
So for the first time we also had a telephone at home. So it was a very different feeling, to be very honest. We moved to it was a quantitative difference. As CO, she also had a lot of responsibilities, social commitment. She had to attend certain coffee mornings, coffee evenings, etc. This was the first international fleet review which India had organized in Mumbai in 2001, and I was commanding a ship. So all the COs and the ships that were lined up in Bombay Harbour, it is like this, and this is very clearly indicated how the presidential column came. So we moved from Cochin, went to Chennai, Madras, and from Chennai I went to Visakhapatnam, and there I got a house. In this trip, the problems was that those were the times when Sri Lanka operations had just got over, and we used to go for long patrols. So we used to go from Visakhapatnam for three months at a stretch. We used to go to Chennai, and from Chennai we used to go to Park Bay, come back to Chennai, sometimes go again to Park Bay, and if we are lucky we could come back to Vizag. So there was a little longish gap in this, but after a short time I got a proper lieutenant commander's accommodation in Cochin, which was the first big accommodation, because it was Vizag. It was a 3-bedroom house and a big house, from a 700-800 square feet house to a 1500 square feet house. It was quite a difference. And then from 96 we were in Delhi. Again we went back to Vizag. I again went to Wellington. Then I again came back in 2004 to Delhi. And then of course I was anchored in Delhi. I remained in Navy and continued in Delhi. And in that period we stayed in one house for almost 9 years plus. So काफ़ी समय तक हम एसपी मार्ग के घर में रहे और वो ऐसा लगने लगा कि ये हमारा घर है. एंड इसी दौरान वी हैड अप्लाइड फॉर दिस हाउस.
2014 में हम फाइनली इस घर में आफ्टर रिटायरमेंट शिफ्ट हुए थे.
फिर यहाँ आने के बाद आई मूव्ड इनटू एकेडमिया. मैं नेवी में रहते रहते ही थिंक टैंक्स में चला गया और फिर ये लगने लगा कि ये जो फील्ड है इसका स्कोप सिर्फ दिल्ली में ही है. इसके लिए मुझे भारत की राजधानी से कहीं बाहर जाना संभव नहीं था. सो वी हैड टू स्टे इन दिल्ली. आई थिंक डिफेंस makes you amenable to accepting and changing very fast, because you keep moving, you don't have fixed ideas. So within the limit available structure, we try to redesign and create a home which to my mind came out very well.
फौजी घरों में थोड़ा लाइट कलर्स के हम लोग यूज टू थे, तो हम लोगों ने नॉर्मली कलर्स वैसे ही ऑफ वाइट और बेज या क्रीम टाइप के ही शेड रखे हैं वॉल के, क्योंकि हम लोगों को आदत नहीं थी बहुत ज़्यादा ब्राइट कलर्स को देखने की. जैसे मैं आजकल बाहर के कभी घर देखती हूँ तो मुझे लगता है कि बहुत ज़्यादा वुड वर्क और बहुत ज़्यादा लाइटिंग और ये सब है. तो हमने, जैसे फौजी घर सिंपल हुआ करते थे और हम लोग उसे कहना चाहिए मिनिमम चीज़ों से हम लोग उसको डेकोरेट कर लिया करते थे.
क्योंकि हम लोग इतनी जगह जाते हैं तो आइडियाज़ ना लिए हों, बट आर्टिफैक्ट्स आपको हर घर में पूरे भारत के मिल जाएंगे, अब्रॉड के मिल जाएंगे. जस्ट वॉचेस फ्रॉम जयपुर. दिस इज अगेन फ्रॉम हेरात ओनली. दिस पेंटिंग इज फ्रॉम मंगोलिया. दिस इज फ्रॉम मलेशिया. दिस बातिक पेंटिंग इज फ्रॉम मलेशिया. कोई असम की है, कोई केरल की है, कोई जम्मू कश्मीर की है, एंड सम थिंग्स फ्रॉम अब्रॉड, बिकॉज नाउ माई प्रेजेंट टास्क टेक्स मी अप. तो कुछ टर्की से आया हुआ है, कुछ ईरान से आया हुआ है, कुछ वियतनाम से आया हुआ है. तो यू फाइंड कि आपको पूरे विश्व की थोड़ी थोड़ी झलक मिल सकती है किसी भी फौजी घर में. वो एक सामान्य चीज़ होती है. जो मैंने अपने लिए हिसाब से जो इस घर में सबसे बड़ा डिज़ाइन किया, वो आई क्रिएटेड अ स्टडी, बिकॉज माई जॉब एंटेल्ड दैट आई नीडेड टू हैव अ स्टडी. मेनी ऑफ दीज बुक्स आर बाय दोज पीपल who presented it to me or which I found very useful, so I have taken them and have kept them with me. A secular ethos of the armed forces that we have. You can only analyze a thing if you are a little detached from it. If you are inside it, then you cannot, because then you are taken away by reverence rather than logic. The books in this chapter are those which I have edited, authored, or at least have a contribution in them. One of the major decisions that forced me to stay here was enclosed garden that we have. Otherwise this society was not so good. But in hindsight it turned out to be very useful, because next door we have an army society which has all the facilities that a defense officer needs. You have a club, you have a canteen, you have an ECHS clinic, you have empaneled hospitals all around you, you have every possible thing that you can need inside. You have a bank, and more significantly at this stage you need company. So I have almost close to 30 plus course mates living within a kilometer. In fact, So it's as good as you were in a cantonment. Especially medical assistance is so much faster in Greater Noida. You have so many, because it's an institutional area. You have so many new hospitals which have come up, which are all empaneled, including the one which is walking distance from here. You have dental colleges, you have everything. So that's why it's been a good thing. And of course, initially once we moved from Delhi to Greater Noida, तो शुरू में लगता था काफ़ी दूर है, बट धीरे धीरे उसकी भी आदत पड़ गई है. Now you feel it's the ultimate. Hopefully soon we'll have the new airport coming here in Greater Noida, which will be the biggest airport in India, and hopefully then I'll be taking most of my flights from here, so I'll be coming via home and then going there. That will be much better. This colony, especially the AWHO, it's a fairly good colony. If you actually go and see, it's a very well spread out colony. It's got a lot of open spaces like any defense housing scheme. More or less as good as a defense area. So with passage of time, things have improved. Also, surrounding facilities have improved. After we came, new malls came up in the area, new hotels came up. So now it's actually a thriving place. Plus also, if you look at it purely from an investment point, this part of Delhi NCR is growing now and has the maximum potential to grow in days to come, with the airport coming and different things happening. It has really come up very well, and I think for somebody who is looking purely from an investment point of view, I think Greater Noida is the best destination, because I think the potential for appreciation is the most here. Real difference between house and a home is the people who live in it. In fact, imagining life without this home is very, very difficult. Actually, this home is tailor-made for my requirements.
अब तो लगता है कि इनफैक्ट अब दिल्ली भी याद भी नहीं आता है. Yes, it feels like home.